What does it mean when FBI Director Kash Patel gets grilled in congressional hearing about how many times Trump's name appears in Epstein files and he can't provide the number? When Democratic lawmakers ask if it's at least 1,000 times and Patel says no, then they ask if it's at least 500 and he says no, then at least 100 and he still says no, but then admits, I don't know the number. When confronted about why he won't release everything legally permissible about Trump in the files, Patel attacks the questioner, saying his job isn't to engage in political innuendo for their fundraising.
You said you don't know the number of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right?
The number is a total misleading factor. We have not released anyone's name in the Epstein files that has not been credible.
Director, could it at least be 1,000 times?
We have released every piece of legally permissible information.
Okay,
you can characterize the numbers however you want it.
Reclaiming my time, Director. It sounds like if you don't know the number, it could at least be 1,000 times.
It's not. It's not.
Is it at least 500 times?
No.
Is it at least 100 times?
No.
Then what's the number?
I don't know the number, but it's not that.
Do you think it might be your job to know the number?
My job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. My job is not to engage in political innuendo so you can go out to the sticks and get your 20-second hit in your fundraising article.
Time, Director.
Keep going, reclaiming your time, because the people of California are being underserved by your representation.
The president is not implicated.
When asked directly if he ever told Trump or Attorney General Bondi that Trump's name is in the files, Patel dodges repeatedly, saying he's never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files, but admitting he had numerous discussions with Bondi about the files without confirming whether Trump's presence was disclosed. Yeah, that means we're potentially watching Trump's hand-picked FBI director collapsing under pressure about what might be the biggest cover-up of his tenure, unable to defend his refusal to release information about Trump, while simultaneously unable to deny that Trump appears in the materials, creating a situation where Patel's own evasiveness could be proving that he's protecting the president rather than serving justice. And here's why this matters so much. Because Kash Patel built his entire career on being Trump's most loyal defender. When FBI raided Mar-a-Lago in 2022 and found classified documents, Patel went on every news show claiming Trump had standing declassification order, that everything was properly declassified, that the raid was unjustified. Those statements helped shape pro-Trump narrative for months, but there was never any evidence that declassification order existed. Trump's own lawyers didn't argue it in court. Other officials said they'd never heard of such order. So Patel either knowingly lied to defend Trump, or he was so deep in Trump's circle that he believed and repeated false information without verification. Either way, his credibility as FBI director might be fundamentally compromised. Think about what that means. If Patel lied about declassification to protect Trump, why wouldn't he lie about Epstein files? If he was willing to make false public statements defending Trump's handling of classified materials, why should anyone believe he's being truthful about what's in the Epstein materials, or about whether he's disclosed Trump's presence to the Attorney General? The pattern suggests Patel views his role as protecting Trump rather than enforcing law impartially. And that's devastating for FBI's institutional credibility, because nobody can trust that investigations or file releases under Patel's leadership are being handled based on law and evidence, rather than on what benefits Trump politically. But before we go any further, real quick, let's be honest. You can't really trust mainstream media anymore. That's why we built John Brown Show, to bring you real stories, real context, and no corporate spin. If you appreciate what we're doing here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. All right, let's get back to the video. Now let's break down what actually happened in this congressional testimony, because Patel's specific evasions reveal potential cover-up. Democratic congressman asks straightforward question, you said you don't know the number of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right? That's reasonable question. If Patel doesn't know the exact number, then logically it could be any number, including very high numbers. But Patel immediately says, the number is a total misleading factor. That's deflection. That's refusing to answer by claiming the question itself is problematic. Then Patel adds, We have not released anyone's name in the Epstein files that has not been credible. But that's not what was asked. The question wasn't about what's been released. The question was about how many times Trump's name appears in the materials. Patel is deliberately conflating two different issues, what exists in the files versus what's been released, to avoid admitting how extensively Trump might appear in Epstein materials. The congressman presses, could it release every piece of legally permissible information? And Patel responds, you can characterize the numbers however you want it. That's admission that there might be significant numbers involved. Otherwise, why would characterization matter? Then the congressman reclaims his time and asks directly, if you don't know the number, it could at least be 1,000 times, which would be, and Patel interrupts, it's not. So now he's claiming he knows enough to say it's not 1,000, but he won't say what it actually is. Share this video with everyone you know, because then comes the revealing exchange. Is it at least 500 times? No. Is it at least 100 times? No. Then what's the number? I don't know the number, but it's not that. Think about how illogical that is. Patel claims he doesn't know the number, yet he's confident enough to rule out specific ranges. How can you not know the number but know definitively it's not at least 100? That suggests Patel does have general sense of how often Trump appears, but he's refusing to provide even approximate figure because that information might be damaging. And when pressed about why this matters, the congressman asks, do you think it might be your job to know the number? That's a devastating question. As FBI director overseeing release of these files, shouldn't Patel know approximately how many times the sitting president appears in materials related to convicted sex trafficker? Shouldn't that be information he's tracked given the obvious public interest and potential conflicts of interest? But Patel's response reveals his priorities. My job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. My job is not to engage in political innuendo so you can go out to the sticks and get your 20-second hit in your fundraising. That's personal attack on the congressman rather than answer to legitimate oversight question. That's FBI director claiming that asking about Trump's presence in Epstein files is political innuendo rather than crucial transparency issue. And that attack itself might be revealing. If Trump's presence in the files was minimal or innocent, wouldn't Patel just say that? Wouldn't he provide the number and explain it's not significant? The fact that he attacks the questioner rather than answering suggests the truth might be damaging enough that Patel prefers creating conflict rather than providing information. Make sure you're subscribed to John Brown Show, because then comes even more revealing exchange about whether Patel disclosed Trump's presence to administration officials. Congressman asks, did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files? Patel responds, I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files. That's careful answer. It doesn't say Trump's name isn't in files. It just says Patel hasn't discussed it with Trump. But why wouldn't FBI director inform sitting president that his name appears in files related to major criminal investigation, unless the answer is that Trump already knows because he's been involved in managing what gets released? Then the questioning shifts. Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? And watch how Patel's answer changes. The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews conducted by our team. That's not denial. That's confirmation of extensive discussions with Bondi about the files. But it doesn't answer whether those discussions included informing Bondi of Trump's presence. The congressman asks again directly, did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Patel tries dodging again. And we have released where President Trump came, but gets cut off. The congressman demands, it's a simple question. Did you tell the Attorney General that the president's name is in the Epstein files? And Patel gives another evasive response. During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of, before his answer trails off or gets interrupted, or that pattern of evasion might be answer itself. If Trump's name wasn't in the files, Patel could simply say no because his name doesn't appear. If Trump's name was in files in innocent context, Patel could say, yes, I informed the AG that Trump appears in connection with X or Y, which is not concerning. But instead, Patel won't give straight answer, suggesting the truth is something he doesn't want to state on the record, that Trump does appear in files in ways that might be problematic, and that both Patel and Bondi are aware of it, but managing the releases to protect Trump. Now let's talk about Patel's history of making false statements to defend Trump, because that pattern is directly relevant to whether we can trust anything he says about Epstein files. After Mar-a-Lago raid, Patel claimed Trump had standing declassification order. He said it was well known in White House. He said all documents at Mar-a-Lago had been declassified. These were specific, confident claims that shaped public narrative. Trump supporters believed the raid was unjustified because Patel, who worked in national security, vouched for Trump's story. But there was never any evidence supporting Patel's claims. No one else could confirm this standing order existed. Trump's lawyers didn't argue it in court. Special counsel investigation found no documentation of such order. So Patel made false public statements that helped Trump politically. And now he's FBI director, which means he has enormous power to shape what information gets released about Trump and what gets buried. If he was willing to lie about declassification, why should anyone believe he's being truthful about Epstein files? And Patel's legal battles reveal more about his character and credibility. He sued multiple media outlets for defamation, including CNN, claiming they falsely portrayed him as partisan Trump loyalist. But Virginia Court of Appeals looked at his actual conduct and ruled that calling him Trump loyalist wasn't defamation. It was accurate characterization based on his public actions. That's court finding that Patel really is what critics say he is. Partisan operative willing to bend rules and truth to serve Trump. And that judicial finding makes everything Patel says about Epstein files suspect, because we have court ruling establishing he's not objective professional, but Trump loyalist whose word can't be trusted. Patel also brought up threats he received after January 6th. Committee released his personal information. He claimed he had to move because of direct and significant threats on his life. That was part of his victim narrative during confirmation hearing. But now congressional investigators might be going back through his January 6th testimony, looking for contradictions with what he's saying now as FBI director. And each contradiction they find further destroys his credibility, makes it harder to believe anything he claims about any topic, including Epstein files. So here's where this leaves us. Kash Patel testifying before Congress, unable to say how many times Trump appears in Epstein files, while also claiming it's not as high as various numbers congressmen suggest. Refusing to confirm whether he disclosed Trump's presence to Attorney General despite admitting numerous discussions about the files. Attacking congressmen for asking legitimate oversight questions, calling it political innuendo, all while carrying history of making false statements to defend Trump, losing defamation lawsuit where court ruled he really is partisan loyalist, and facing ongoing scrutiny about contradictions between past testimony and current statements. And the broader implications might be devastating. If FBI director is using his position to protect Trump by managing what gets released from Epstein files, if he's coordinating with Attorney General to ensure damaging information stays buried, if he's lying to Congress about what he knows and what he's disclosed, that's not just political scandal, that's potential obstruction of justice, that's abuse of position, that's FBI being weaponized to serve president's personal interests rather than public's right to truth. And Patel's evasiveness in this hearing, his refusal to answer straightforward questions, his attacking of congressmen rather than providing information, all of that suggests he knows the truth would be damaging, knows Trump's presence in files is more extensive or concerning than he wants to admit, knows that full transparency would create problems for the administration he serves. If you want to stay on top of stories like this, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments. Do you think Patel is protecting Trump by managing Epstein file releases, and should he be held in contempt for refusing to answer Congress's questions? Because honestly, this hearing revealed that FBI director either doesn't know basic information he should know about files he's managing, or he knows but won't disclose because the truth is damaging to Trump. Either way, his credibility is shot, his evasiveness suggests cover-up, and his history of lying for Trump means nothing he says can be trusted. Share this with everyone because Patel's collapse under questioning might be first crack in the wall protecting Trump's Epstein secrets. Stay tuned.